base, an 8-year Marine veteran. Joined the Marines at the age of 19, had about 100 amateur fights, qualified for the 2004 Olympic trials as he's being serenaded by the Marines. We had to hear that. Outstanding. Let's go back to Mike Williams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the red, white, and blue and weighed in at 130 pounds. His professional boxing record stands at an impressive mark of 25 wins against only 2 defeats, an outstanding 21 victories by way of knockout. Tonight, he enters this title bout ranked #1 by the NABF. Ladies and gentlemen, from St. Paul, Minnesota, presenting the former world title challenger, Jason, the American Boy, Litzau.
Litzau had to know he wasn't going to be greeted warmly here by the Marines.
But respectfully, because
yes, absolutely.
We are in a place where people understand respect.
But they're going to cheer loudly for one of their own, Johnnie Edwards. Litzau, again, is a world-class pro, an exciting world-class featherweight prospect, now trying to get back into the championship picture after a loss in his attempt for a junior lightweight title. But he is tall and he is fast, and Johnnie Edwards will have his hands full.
A lot of times when you see somebody with the home court, the home field, just in this case, a home base advantage, like Edwards does, they try to choose their opposition where they have the big advantage. Give Edwards credit, right. No surprise being
rules in the back. You guys both know and
he did not do that here.
I expect you to follow.
He's in a tough fight.
You can see the size difference right there. Litzau at 5'10", rangy, 130-pounder, and Edwards at 5'4". So again, we're going to see a clash of styles. We've seen it a few times here where you have a taller man, but they're the same weight. So it's a matter of where that fight will be fought.
And Edwards has lost 2 of his last 3. Again, I just said it a moment ago. He's in a tough spot here. I'll say it before the first bell. Edwards might be made to order for the taller Litzau. Edwards only knows one way, like most Marines, to go up that hill, to storm that beach, to come forward. He covers up. He doesn't always move his head. Litzau, if he fights tall on the outside, he can have a big edge and a good night.
Litzau known for his power and his fast hands. Teddy, you mentioned the right hand as well as a big gun.
Well, that's where his power is. It's in the right hand. The problem with Litzau, he's a taller guy, but a lot of times, again, as we said in the fight previous to this, he doesn't always fight tall. Sometimes gives up his height, and he just fights.
Litzau says his young crazy days are over because he's been in fights before where he's been ahead, most notably December 2006. That was one of his only 2 pro losses. He was stunned by Jose Hernandez. Litzau was unbeaten and cocky. He chose to slug it out even though he was up big on the cards. He got caught, he got stopped. It was a stunner.
Well, early on, not much happening, but I think where you notice where not much is happening is more on the side of Litzau, the taller man. Not much of a jab. You're not seeing the presence of a jab. And even though it's early, that's a negative for Litzau, the taller guy, because we've said it already tonight. To be tall, you have to stand on the outside, and usually it starts with using that jab.
Okay, here we go.
Dale Fry, the referee, as he takes a look at the gloves of Jason Litzau. Litzau trying to measure Edwards.
Edwards' weight has fluctuated, Brian, over his career. He's fought from junior welterweight 142 to featherweight 125 pounds. Most of Litzau's fights have been between featherweight and junior lightweight. And again, a tough spot, I think, for Edwards.
You know, and Litzau, though, I'm used to seeing him coming out guns blazing. I wouldn't call him tentative, but he's moving very slowly here so far.
Well,
he's taking his time.
I would call him tentative, especially with the jab. You know, he's the taller guy. You want to control range, you want to control distance, and the jab does that, and so far it hasn't been there. And again, that's a bad sign from the taller guy. He used the jab, and then when he threw the right hand, his right foot slid in, he gave up his height. And again, Brian, you want to see how guys can fight tall. It starts with standing on the outside and keeping your feet set. Not let your feet fall in. Watch the feet of Litzau. When he punches, they fall in. And when they fall in, well, he gets too close.
Tried to land the right hand there on Johnnie Edwards. Again, scheduled for 10, so there's a long way to go here. But the pace, this type of pace, has got to be a good news for the corner of Johnnie Edwards. Yeah, Litzau still just entering his prime now, 26 years old. Mentioned all the experience that he's had.
I don't know if the pace is good news for Edwards, but I know that Edwards people are happy that they're not seeing a jab from Litzau. That's good news.
That's round one here in the main event.
It's stinging a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
The longer you keep your high mileage car, the more it pays you back. Get Castrol GTX High Mileage. It helps engines last longer by fighting the main causes of engine failure.
I think a dime went up my nose.
Yeah, it happens.
Don't change your car, change your oil to Castrol GTX High Mileage. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Before our bouts tonight, Teddy Atlas in the ring making a presentation and giving some money to the Wounded Warrior Project, which the Atlas Foundation, the Dr. Theodore Atlas Foundation, does each and every year. That's Sergeant First Class Rashi Hall and Sergeant Brian Belcher here at the base. Teddy, I know the dinner is coming up for the Atlas Foundation, and you guys have raised millions of dollars to help people who need it, and I know each year you give to the Wounded Warriors.
Here over the last 13 years, this is our 13th year coming up. We've given away $4 million because of the goodness of people out there that allow us to give those resources to the right places, and there's no better place than the Wounded Warriors. All they do for all of us.
All that you do too, we appreciate it, Teddy. You do just such good work, and you make it a point to help out everybody you can, cutting through the red tape. Here in the main event, Jason Litzau and Johnnie Edwards, and the connect advantage in the first round, 5-1. Jason Litzau did not land until 8 seconds to go in the round. So, okay, I was trying to be kind, Teddy, and say, well, I don't know if tentative is the word. And you said, no, tentative is the word.
I wasn't as kind.
Yeah, you weren't. No, that was a low output first round. And I understand Litzau maybe at the outset just say, I'm going to take my time and not just try to bum rush this guy. You know, Johnnie Edwards is formidable in his own right. I'm not just going to go in and take him out, but at a certain point, we're waiting for that work rate that we normally see from Litzau.
Oh, we hear a lot of, Marine terminology on the base here. Talking about coordinates, talking about personnel, different things and equipment. And one of the old, sayings, one of the old simple jargons in boxing terms is applicable to Litzau in that first round. He's just waiting too long. He's not getting off.
Litzau is a live wire if you've seen him fight before, seen him in our main events. Again, he is springy energy. Again, his once fought for the junior lightweight title. His last loss was to Robert the Ghost Guerrero in February 2008. Now trying to put it back together. He's had a few wins since then. And still big things expected from Litzau out of St. Paul, Minnesota, who trained at home for this fight. Didn't go away to camp as he and his girlfriend just had a baby girl a few weeks ago. So he said he prepped at home. He wanted to be with his family and said he's never been happier. So that's good news on the home front for Jason. Now trying to make it happen in the ring professionally.
But Johnnie Edwards has the ability to switch to southpaw, and he just shows that ability right there. Turns from the orthodox stance to where he is now. He's a lefty right now. But what he has to be careful, and now he switches back and then he goes back to lefty. Whether he's lefty or righty, he has to be careful he doesn't just swarm in. Because there's no cover then. He can't just rush in. When he rushes in like that, Litzau, if he lets his hands go, is going to have a good chance to drop something on him. Right there, there's a good spot where Edwards, again, reaching in a little bit, but Litzau doesn't make him pay a price, at least not yet. Right now, the only guy doing anything is Edwards, and there's not a lot being done.
Edwards now backs Litzau up against the ropes. Now he might force things to happen here.
And what he might have done is he might have just stolen that round in the last 10 seconds coming forward.
Someone's got to win the round, ordinarily. We are here in Jacksonville, North Carolina at this air station. You can see that ESPN just started to salute the veterans, going over to Army and Air Force. Game day will be there. Then over to the Walter Reed Medical Center in Washington, D.C. on Sunday for Outside the Lines. Monday Night Football, Steelers and Broncos, with special guest Vietnam veteran Rocky Blyer. Mike and Mike in the morning be on the newly commissioned USS New York in New York City. It'll be the Early Sports Center at West Point. Beautiful spot there, the U.S. Military Academy. Officers from the Army training there, and then first take at the U.S. Coast Guard Training Center in New Jersey. Here at the Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville, North Carolina, inside the chopper, there are young Marines. And those guys must rate, Teddy, because those are the guys who can see the fight.
Yeah.
they got the merits.
Yeah, they have good seats. I mean, there's nobody that's blocking their view.
No.
I mean, they're above the heads, and again, as I said earlier, they also have guns there.
They must have done something good. They must have earned their way into that spot. Maybe they'll fly us home.
Not me.
No, not you?
No, I think I'll go the old conventional way.
Stop!
It's a big ship,
right,
though. It might be fine. The Osprey, it's huge.
It is huge, and it can do a lot of things. It can fly like a plane, and it can fly like a helicopter straight up. It can be really useful in mountainous terrain.
Yeah. Get in and out of tight spots, and that's what the Marines do.
Places like Afghanistan.
The Marines start to chant as we're here in the main event. Again, not a high work rate from Jason Litzau. Bit of a surprise against former Marine Johnnie Edwards in the red trunks.
Stop right here. Oh, my, good job.
Again, no jab from Litzau. At least not to the degree that you'd like to see it.
Teddy, I haven't seen Litzau fight in a while now, but I'm just wondering, where's the springy energy? Are you with, am I imagining that? Normally he's a guy who just comes in and the energy seems to bounce from the guy. His aura doesn't seem the same tonight.
No, well, you go back 3 fights ago, Litzau fought for the world title against Robert Guerrero. He was knocked out in the 8th round. Maybe that took some of what you were just talking about, some of that away.
Yeah, he's only 26 years old, so he's a young guy. Oh, and he staggers Edwards there.
Well, that's the power.
Through a quick hook, and now a right hand, and he wades in.
The puncher in this fight is Litzau, and that
Edwards is down. That's
that
a
ability
knockdown.
just showed itself.
That should be ruled a knockdown as the ropes held him up. Teddy, isn't that supposed to be a knockdown?
Yeah, that should have been.
I mean, he went through the ropes and then was laying on the ropes. Yeah.
But I don't think that it served Edwards, because Edwards with a knockdown, although it would be a 10-8 round, he would have gotten a little bit of more time with that mandatory 8 count. He was forced to get right back in there with no time to recover. But Litzau not really getting after him, allowing him to survive, allowing him to get his thoughts, get his mind together.
Have to say, though, just as I'm saying, boy, I don't see a lot of spring. I don't see a lot of output from Litzau.
Well, you see the power.
Yeah, he throws a quick hook, and Edwards was dazed immediately. Edwards now just trying to get out of this round. Final 10 seconds. Can he stay on his feet? He was badly hurt.
What he needs to do is what he did there, get in close and tie up.
All right.
We're going to stay right here. Johnnie Edwards goes into his corner. J.C. Davis is there in his corner, the trainer. Again, I mentioned J.C. Davis earlier as he gets in. He is trained Leon Spinks, Mike Weaver, at times Ken Norton, so a very experienced trainer. All three I just mentioned, Marines, and boxed with the Marines and then turned pro.
Okay.
J.C. asking Johnny if he's all right. Johnny, I want to see this again, because that seemed like a short hook came out of nowhere, and Johnny just got grazed, and he was just off balance and hurt. Quick little short hook.
And then you saw he continued punching Litzau, and you saw a right hand get in there again. You saw him. We'll take another look right here, Brian. Left hand. You see that right uppercut. Lets in there a little bit, but
now he got caught up. He didn't want to go down in the ropes, so I'm a little unsure on that. But normally, if a ropes are holding you up,
I think the referee actually there, the referee did the right job, because Nothing was landed there. He had been hurt before that, prior to that. That's where the referee could have stepped in, but he didn't step in. And there, nothing was landed. And while Edwards was trying to make defensive maneuvers to get away, he got himself outside the ropes, and he wound up falling outside the ropes. I don't think he was put there by a punch. Well, he was put there. He was hurt earlier, but he was put there by his own defensive moves.
Yeah, but then it was a punch that kind of pushed him back toward there. I know what you're saying, and you might be right. I don't have a definitive take on it.
That made him go into that posture was a punch that was landed a little earlier.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
I'm not sure.
It's going to get rough in here. It's going to get rough. Let's go.
As you go, I'm not so sure, but all right, I'll buy that.
But
although you made it a 10-8 round, though, either way.
I made it because I felt that the hard, clean punches dominated the round for Litzau. That it was
Here we go.
really one-sided round.
He hurt him bad.
Yeah, he did, and that's what professional boxing is about. Putting a hurt on the other guy more than he puts a hurt on you. Landing the more effective shots.
Litzau also, just a moment ago, just threw a vicious body shot as Edwards came in. And that is a good scoring blow and took a lot of wind out of Edwards.
And again, you know, just a tough road to hold. And I said it before the first punch for Edwards. He's got to find a way to get inside to be effective with the taller man. And he's got to watch that he doesn't take something damaging on the way in.
Litzau clubs a right hand to the side of Johnnie Edwards. Edwards very game.
When you get twisted up like that, don't hit him, okay? Here we go.
Litzau's really having the edge with Edwards. He's able to catch him on the way in as Edwards forces the envelope. As he tries to get in, Edwards leaving himself open. We said that early. And a lot of times Edwards gets a little top heavy. He reaches in, leaves himself available on the way in. He doesn't really bring his feet and work his way in. And he's paying a little bit of a price with the taller Litzau, getting caught on the way in. And also Litzau, you know, he's got a dimension that a lot of guys with long arms doesn't always have, or don't always have. Litzau has the ability to punch on the inside with those long arms.
All right, here we go.
There's a cut over the left eye now of Litzau.
You can see that blood now coming down on Litzau.
You know, both these fighters have been involved with head clashes in their career, so no shock here. They have both been involved where they come in close with their heads.
There is that small cut there, and Edwards just strafed it there with a good jab. Cut over the left eye, to the side of that left eye of Jason Litzau. Again, their heads are coming together an awful lot. Not sure if it came from the punch or from the heads. As Edwards goes back against the ropes again in the final seconds of round 4. And we mentioned we had some guys in the ring, Rashad Holloway and Frankie Figueroa. Holloway most notably has done over 100 rounds of sparring with Manny Pacquiao. Next week, November 14th, it's going to be Manny Pacquiao in his next big fight. He has gone through Oscar De La Hoya and Ricky Hatton, and now another big man. Again, Pacquiao is a champ at 115 pounds, 122 pounds, and now will fight just under the welterweight level with Miguel Cotto. Teddy, what do you think happens in that fight?
You know, I think it's all contingent on, is Pacquiao, or I should say, is Cotto again? Because I think Cotto got damaged in that fight against Margarito where, you know, he got beat up, and later on the issue came in that maybe the gloves were loaded by Margarito. But he lost his confidence. And in the Clottey fight, you saw that. He wasn't sure of himself. He showed heart. He got through that fight, but with a little help from his friend. In that case, it was Clottey. Clottey didn't push the issue. And I think Pacquiao will push the issue. You know, Clottey allowed Cotto to survive in those moments where Cotto really looked like the ghost of Margarito was in his head.
Too. But Clottey's a quality guy and a big man. And Pacquiao's nowhere near that size.
But Clottey doesn't throw punches. And really, Clottey got saved that night by Arthur McCanty Jr. because Clottey, when he went to the floor, he looked like he didn't want to fight no more. He got pushed to the floor. And if it wasn't for McCanty being a real good pro and a real good ref, making him get out and enticing him to get up and go on.
He refused to let him sit there,
He refused to allow him to quit. And I just don't like the way Cotto looked in that fight. Now, maybe the Clottey fight was what Cotto needed to get himself back, to get that confidence back from that beating he took with Margarito.
I agree in that Cotto looked tentative in his previous fight, in the first fight back from the Margarito fight. But I thought he showed a lot. I think only he opened up when he got cut in that fight with Clottey, and then he looked like a different guy.
Well, Cotto's not hard to hit. And when you got the speed that Pacquiao has, and you have the confidence, and you're a southpaw, and you have the power that Pacquiao carries, That's a bad combination for Cotto. I like Pacquiao in that fight.
Decision or stoppage, Teddy?
Stop right there.
I can see
Your head in there,
the
baby.
7th,
Okay,
8th
here we
round
go.
stoppage. If things really get going, if that rhythm starts clicking for Pacquiao, because when he gets it clicking, he gets it clicking.
He's locked in. I go Pacquiao as well, but by decision. He's just too locked in. But Cotto, I believe, is just very formidable and a big.
Well, he's a bigger guy. He's a bigger guy. And his job is going to be to try to time Pacquiao with a big punch. He's not going to match his speed, but maybe time him with a left hook.
Back here with Jason Litzau and Johnnie Edwards. Yes, and we see it. It's strange things happening back and forth. And one of the things we see is Edwards now almost goes down for a 3rd time. Litzau is bleeding not just from the eye, but from the nose.
Yeah, and Litzau, you see that cut in the corner of the left eye. He's been cut over that left eye a couple times in his career, so the scar tissue there, no shock that has opened up, and more importantly, not that it's not a shock to us, but not a shock to Litzau. In other words, that cut will not bother him. He's been down that road before.
Good body shot from Litzau before, and now he wades in. You can see the power, and these are rough shots landed by Litzau. Good hard shots, body shots too by Litzau. He put him in the bank for later.
Well, every Marine, when he goes on a mission, you know, he has a job to do. You know, he knows exactly what his orders are. And the orders for Edwards is to get close, but not get caught as he's trying to get close.
He got caught there by a hook, too, that made him think better of just wading in on Litzau.
And you see Edwards, again, there's a left hook. Again, you see Edwards, the shorter man, he turns southpaw for a minute. When he reaches in, he leaves himself awful vulnerable to Litzau as he comes forward.
So Litzau started very slow, but he's landed good hard shots, and he seems to be wearing Edwards down.
And he's got control, and he's got the choice, the option of a lot of different options, a lot of different dimensions does Litzau have. He can do it on the outside, he can do it on the inside.
Stop right there. Good job, I got it. All right, good job.
Brian Kenny, Teddy Atlas here at the Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Bob Van Sickle is the trainer there for Jason Litzau. And you see Don Turner working on the cut.
Ain't gonna be 1 punch, it's gonna be 3 punches. That's gonna hurt him.
Let's take a look and see where it happened. The referee has ruled that it was from a punch, Teddy. I see a punch and I see a little head too. Not sure. Here's another look. And he opened up and started bleeding after this, although the heads then clashed. Which one do you think it was, Teddy?
I'll tell you one thing.
I'm not sure.
There's no clear evidence that it was just from the punch. You make a very good point, because right behind that punch came the head.
Right. And it doesn't take much to cut someone in that area when you whack it with your head.
Throw a feint, lead with the right hand.
I'll tell you one
left
thing,
with
if this was the NFL, there's not enough evidence to overturn anything.
That's a very good point. The ruling on the field stands.
Yes, it does.
Referee has to make a quick call on that. I think he did the right thing. He saw punch land, then there was the cut. It's really difficult to, when we're watching it on replay, we can't even come up with 100% certainty. Johnnie Edwards, Jason Litzau. Litzau starting to take control. Edwards will have to pick up the pace here. Again, round 6. They are scheduled at least for 10. You see Litzau is calm in the corner too. You see Don Turner working on multiple areas of bleeding. Litzau's just talking about the fight.
Yeah, Don Turner, as I said earlier in the night, has worked a few corners tonight. Good boxing man. Former trainer of Evander Holyfield and former trainer of many good fighters.
Stop. Watch that bow, baby. Watch
Also in
that
the
bow.
corner
Here
of
we
Johnnie
go.
Edwards is a current pro heavyweight, Donnell Holmes.
Stop.
J.C. Davis, the
Thank you,
lead
man.
corner man in Edwards' corner.
J.C. Davis has some great stories about Leon Spinks back in his Marine days. Ooh, good shots landed by Edwards that time as he starts to score.
But he's going in and out, and that's what Edwards has to do. You know, he can't stand in front of the stronger, the better punching Litzau. So
We're stopping.
again, like a good Marine, he's trying to find the right tactical maneuvers.
Nice short hook from Litzau there. Drove Edwards back.
Johnnie Edwards trying to find a new way to deploy the troops. You know, just standing in front of Litzau, he's found out that will not get the job done in the way that he wants it done. And again, a little combination by Edwards, and then he gets out. Edwards trying to use every inch of this ring to pull this fight out of the fire right now, Brian.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Even that part of the ring, downstairs on the canvas, as
me
he
those
grabs and they fall down, kills a little time.
Gloves right here.
They get tangled, although Edwards, I think his legs are a little weary at this point. That's why he keeps going down. Litzau appears to be getting stronger.
Stop. Ta-da.
Again, Edwards needs all the ring. Litzau only cares about the part of the ring right in front of him, where he can use his power, where he can set his feet and either catch Edwards coming in or catch Edwards at the end of his jab, at the end of his long punches. One or the other.
One thing I noticed here, Teddy, is that Litzau also does have his mouth open, so that blood from the nose is bothering him. Again, you don't know if it's broken, you don't know if he's just bloodied up a little bit, but he's got that mouth open. That can leave you vulnerable.
10 seconds.
Final seconds, round 6 here between Jason Litzau and Johnnie Edwards. Teddy and I talking about the fight November 14th in Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto. That is a super fight. Yes, the Marines are all here. We asked the Marines, who do you like in the fight?
I'm Lance Corporal Ortiz from East Boston, Massachusetts. I think Cotto's going to win 10th round knockout.
I'm Private First Class Hilton from Kingston, New York. And Manny Pacquiao is going to win by unanimous decision. I know this is going to be a battle to the end.
My name is Lance Corporal Cameron Weatherholz from Winchester, Virginia. I think Cotto is going to win with the 4th round KO with Swig.
My name is Lance Corporal Andrew Byers. I'm from Scottsburg, Indiana. I think Pac-Man's going to win by decision.
All right, good stuff, guys. Sean Hilton from Kingston, New York. My old stomping grounds, not far from where you used to operate in a certain boxing club.
Yeah, Catskill, New York. Yeah. Exit 21, New York Thruway.
If you're looking for it.
If you're looking for it, you were exit 18, somewhere around.
Yeah, 19. Yeah,
19.
right.
There it is. I remember.
You are correct. Raised my family there for a long time. We're here at the Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville, North Carolina. The Marines making their prediction for Pacquiao Cotto. Should be an exciting fight at the very least. At the top of the boxing food chain. Here, Jason Litzau trying to get back into the championship picture. Fighting Johnnie Edwards from right here in Jacksonville, North Carolina, former Marine.
Stop punching. I got it.
Well, if you're the taller guy, you have a couple choices. You can use your jab, which Litzau hasn't really used much tonight. You can use that jab to control range, to keep the shorter man on the outside and do damage at the end of that punch. Or you can use your height to stand at a certain distance and look to counter, look to catch the shorter man as he comes in, as he makes himself available. All right, so that is what Litzau's looked to do more than the other.
Edwards goes down again as he is pushed down, but he's not being pushed down too hard. Pulling off the mouthpiece for Jason Litzau. Yeah, Edwards is getting weary here in the later rounds. Now looking just to hold on and survive.
Stop pushing his head down. Here we go.
Edwards making it rough now on the inside.
Well, again, and not staying there. Going in, going out. The trouble is the in part. Every once in a while when he comes in reaching, flailing a little bit, he's vulnerable.
All right.
He's got the out part okay. It's the coming in part where Edwards can get caught.
Stop right there. I got it. Here we go.
And again, watch Edwards as he comes in. That is the danger place.
Edwards not as solid on his feet as he was in the earlier rounds. Litzau actually did train here, or not exactly here, but at Camp Lejuene, which is part of this greater area here in North Carolina, when he was in the amateurs and ran across Johnnie Edwards. Vaguely remembers him. Edwards remembers Litzau as well as kind of a small world when you're a top amateur.
Well, one hope for Edwards now as he falls behind, at least I think, has fallen behind in this fight, is to do something that's been done to Litzau. Knock him out. Litzau's 2 losses happened by knockout, so a lot of people have questions about the chin of Litzau. Not the heart. Got plenty of that. He's gotten off the floor to win fights before. So you know he's been tested in that department. But his chin has failed him sometimes. The problem is Edwards, not a big banger.
And he's pretty exhausted at this point. Yeah, a lot of his energy is gone. Litzau, though, in trying to become a more mature fighter, maybe, I think, more reluctant to get it, to wade in there. Oh, there was a good wing and shot from Edwards. more reluctant to get in and trade because he knows that's where he is vulnerable. Otherwise, in this fight, he's probably not in any danger.
And again, Edwards trying to use anything he can. Every inch of the ring, his legs look really,
Got your glove right here,
wobbly. You see it again. He goes down, using the ring and turning southpaw whenever he can.
Stop!
Room service?
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Geronimo! Ta-da!
With up to 40% off on hotels, you can afford a real vacation and save an additional $100 or more when you book with any American Express card. Travelocity, you'll never roam alone.
A special night here at the Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Brian Kenny and Teddy Atlas. Teddy, you brought up a good point. The Osprey has dimensions. It has options, right? Like a good fighter.
And that's what Johnny Edwards is looking for. Options, dimensions tonight with the bigger punching Litzau. But you see those dimensions right there.
It becomes a helicopter.
It becomes a helicopter. You know, it can go up that terrain if you're in a real tight quarter there. In the mountainous places, like I said earlier, in Afghanistan, you can go up. And then when it's time to go straight, you can do that.
I love that. Somewhere a designer, an engineer thought, you know what? We could do both. And for $40 million, you can actually make it. And they do. Osprey all over the airstrip here at the Marine Corps Air Station. Here now, round 8. Jason Litzau, Johnny Edwards. See if Edwards can be rejuvenated there from his 1-minute rest.
You know, actually, it's $41.1 million, not $40 million.
I was rounding down, but that's $1.1 million.
Yeah, more.
I could be at the Pentagon doing that, doing those numbers.
Yeah, that's.
Don't push him down from stop.
You know, that's not like, you know, just having bigger hubcaps. You know what I mean? That's
a good point. It's like when a guy signs a contract for $20.3 million. You say $20 million. Oh, 300 grand is 300 grand.
Yes, it is.
Whether you're a quarterback, $1.1 million makes a difference with the Osprey.
And there's the problem right there. Again, you see Johnny Edwards, very game, but one-dimensional coming in right now. And as he walks in without a jab, without moving his head, he pays the price.
Cupping right hand there, landed by Litzau.
And again, the choices of a taller man. You know, just like you saw that machinery, you can go up, you can go down. Well, Litzau has the choices. You can use the jab. He has not chosen to use the jab tonight. Or you could just stand your ground, being a better puncher, being the taller guy, and just wait for the short man to come to you and nail him on the way in. And for the most part, that has been the plan for Litzau.
Good sportsmanship there by Litzau, who had Edwards turning away from him. I mean, legally, although Dale Fry, the referee, was calling from behind.
Okay, I got it.
You know, if you have a referee behind you,
well,
might be difficult to hear.
Litzau's a good kid.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, he's a good kid. Anytime you talk to him, he's respectful. He's a very honest kid. If he has a bad performance, he doesn't BS you. He'll tell you. And Edwards, of course, the former Marine, he's a heck of a person, heck of a man himself.
Yeah, you just need to point out once in a while. By the way, they're behaving with respect, with sportsmanship, even though they're at battle right now. That's the way to behave as a pro.
And the one place where Edwards is behaving a little poorly, again, on his way in, no jab, reaching in, making himself available to Litzau. And we said that early on. We said Edwards has the habits, a little bit of the inherent flaw where he'll reach in.
So Litzau got caught there twice as Edwards throwing up a left hand and starting to land, and that's his one shot in this fight at this point. That little ray of sunshine there for Johnny Edwards as he caught some jawline.
Nothing there.
Again, Edwards doing everything he can to not be that one-dimensional guy who just walks in and gets caught. Trying to go in, trying to go out. But again, he's got a smaller caliber gun at the end of the day. You know, Litzau has a howitzer and Edwards has, I guess, an M16 or something. It's just not as big.
We're through round 8, and this weekend, light heavyweight rematch in my neck of the woods in Hartford, not far from Bristol, at the headquarters of ESPN. Chad Dawson against Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson, again, the classy warrior, going against the guy that many feel is the best light heavyweight in the world today. And the winner of this fight this Saturday, Teddy, should be seen as the light heavyweight champion of the world, depending again on what Bernard Hopkins wants to do. But these two guys should settle the best at 175. What happens in this fight, Teddy?
Well, what happened in the first fight, a lot of people, this is a rematch, a lot of people thought that the older man, that man on the right there, Glenn Johnson, won the first fight, and he didn't get a fair decision. He was a guy that thought that himself. He's going to be trying to do that. I like Johnson's an old-fashioned guy. He does it the old-fashioned way. He earns his way. You know, he didn't have any kind of silver spoon in his mouth when he was coming up. He wasn't an amateur champion, an Olympic gold medalist. He had to fight good fighters. They threw him where he won. He learned how to fight. He can fight inside. He can fight on the outside. He's solid defensively. He's solid offensively. But having said all that,
there's a but.
There is a but. I think youth will be served. And I think Chad Dawson, he's quick. He's multi-dimensional himself. He can fight inside. He can fight outside. He's proven himself. He has been tested. And I think at the end of the day, his youth, his speed, it will be the difference. And he'll be able to win a decision.
He's a complete fighter. I love the way he fought the second time around against Antonio Tarver. Tarver came in with a different level of conviction in their rematch. And Johnson, if you follow Glenn Johnson at all, you have to love the guy. Again, the road warrior. He was jobbed everywhere and actually didn't get anywhere until his late 30s when he had that brutal knockout of Roy Jones Jr., then beat Tarver to become the light heavyweight champion. So it'll be exciting. It's hard to go against Dawson as Glenn Johnson gets over the age of 40.
Both good guys, but that Johnson is a guy that you really have to love as a fighter and as a person, inside and outside the ring.
Yep, just a wonderful man.
And you said it well, Dawson, you know, you look at him first, you think he's an outside guy, a speed guy, but he can fight inside, he can fight outside.
Complete.
Yeah, he is complete, and he's been tested.
That was a good right hand from Johnnie Edwards there. The Marines got excited when they saw it graze the chin of Jason Litzau. Litzau absorbed that one pretty well.
And again, there's the danger zone for Edwards. You saw it a minute ago. You know, he'll just reach in, and he'll leave himself in space. A space that, for the most part, in spots tonight, has been filled by counterpunches from Litzau.
Stop right there, no punch.
Fight night in Hartford, too, this weekend, Teddy. How about that?
How about it?
I don't know. You'd rarely see it.
No, you don't.
That used to be a real fight town. Marlon Starling. Going back, Willie Pep, of course.
Willie Pep, one of the great fighters. I mean, this sport has been around anywhere from 100, 200 years, depending on where you start your counting. And Willie Pep would be on that list of probably one of the greatest three, which is remarkable to say that in a sport that's so been around so long and rich with so many great fighters. Willie Pep probably on the list of one of the top 3 or 4 of all time.
Seen as the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's the guy that if you're putting a list together and you want fans of Floyd Mayweather want him on there, that's the guy you're comparing him to.
Stop.
Be interesting to see too, Teddy, what happens with Cotto and Pacquiao, and then who's next? What's happening with Floyd? What about Shane Mosley? How's it going to fall into place?
And I know you're going to be out in Vegas covering that Cotto-Pacquiao fight. I wish I could be out there with you, but I'm going to be over in Russia.
For your heavyweights?
Yes, with Povetkin. Training him for a fight coming up in December.
One more round here in the main event with Jason Litzau and Johnnie Edwards.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
Friday Night Fights returns January 8th of next year. Joe Tessitore will be back here with Teddy Atlas. I'll be in the studio. Or I'll be out here with you occasionally when
it's always nice. It's always nice.
It's great to be out here once in a while. Joe is on assignment, getting ready for the Breeders' Cup. this weekend in California, so I get to come out here, and it's great to pull the fights with you. It's great. You know, this is a great experience for me, as it was for you, Teddy, to meet so many great young men, the Marines here, the amateur fighters, as well as the pros. Very different environment here, and we're ready for the final round of the main event. Now Litzau goes to work, looking to finish the job, lands a hook.
You're seeing the quick hands of Litzau, and just as importantly, you're seeing the hands be put together. You're seeing combinations of Litzau.
Edwards just desperately trying to hold on and tie up Litzau.
And what you're not seeing, again, we mentioned it very early, the tall guy has a choice. He can use his jab to be tall, he can just counter and punch as the shorter man comes in. That's what Litzau's doing.
Big connect advantage for Jason Litzau. Our count has it 125 to 78. He's landed more shots and has landed the better shots. Edwards getting weary, just trying to finish this fight on his feet. I liked the way Litzau came out, saying, that's not going to happen, showing some fire. Edwards, though, making that difficult, grabbing and clutching.
Again, most of the night, Edwards' legs have just not been there for him. I mean, they've been trying to betray him, but the mind and heart, the soul of Edwards just will not let that happen. But the legs have been trying to leave him. But Edwards will, like Marines will tend to do and fighters will tend to do, Edwards will not allow those legs to be in charge. He's making sure that his mind and heart is in charge.
The Marines are all on their feet. They just couldn't help themselves. I'm just looking around.
They're on their feet. Edwards is trying to stay on his feet.
Yeah, they're trying to help him out, trying to will him to the finish line here in the final minute and change.
And you could just see the lack of steadiness. You can see the problem with the wheels of Edwards. And you can see Litzau letting the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. That's serving Edwards right now. One place that Litzau has not gone has been to the body. Somewhere that maybe I would have thought he'd want to go to, or someone in the corner might have told him, hey, go to the body. You know, Edwards' legs don't look that good, and he's using them a lot to try to stay away from you. If you go downstairs to the body, you take a little air out of those tires and not let him use those legs so much. He'll be there, and he'll be available to catch upstairs a little more.
Edwards now boxing like a man who knows there's 30 seconds left. Litzau had just turned to some of the Marines like, can I get a little credit here? And they rewarded him. They appreciate the effort in what you expect to be a Jason Litzau decision. Final seconds of the main event. Again, started very slowly, but Johnnie Edwards from right here in Jacksonville, North Carolina, the former Marine, will finish on his feet as Litzau seemingly did more than enough for a win here tonight in front of all these Marines. Back in New River, the Marine Corps Air Station, right after this.
It's stinging a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
The longer you keep your high-mileage car, the more it pays you back. Get Castrol GTX High Mileage. It helps engines last longer by fighting the main causes of engine failure.
I think a dime went up my nose.
Yeah, it happens.
Don't change your car, change your oil to Castrol GTX High Mileage. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Room service?
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Geronimo! Ta-da!
With up to 40% off on hotels, you can afford a real vacation and save an additional $100 or more when you book with any American Express card. Travelocity, you'll never roam alone.
Hi, I'm Adrian Peterson, running back of Minnesota Vikings, and I would just like to say Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there. Wish you the best, and may God continue to bless you.
As we continue to salute our veterans, and they're the active Marines here at the Marine Corps Air Station New River here in North Carolina as we kick off our week-long salute to our veterans. Starting right here with the Marines at a night of boxing in front of them. Let's go to Teddy's scorecard again for the main event. Jason Litzau, seemingly, I mentioned, did enough against Johnnie Edwards, as Edwards was just looking to finish up. 98-92. You had it for Jason Litzau, Teddy.
Yes, I did.
Let's get the official decision right now in our ring. Our ringside announcer is Mike Williams. Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing here in the main event, we'll go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Kathy Leonard scores the bout 97-93. Judge David Hudson sees the fight 98-91. And Judge Barry Lindenman scores the bout 99-91. All for the winner by unanimous decision. And now the NABF Super Featherweight Champion, Jason, the American Boy, Litzau.
Good sportsmanship throughout, and that was the correct decision. Jason Litzau gets the win over Johnnie Edwards. Edwards gets to finish the fight on his feet, as tired as he was toward the end there against a world-class fighter. Teddy, it's been a tremendous atmosphere, hasn't it? I mean, it's just been energized. I know it's kind of like the blue horizon with Marines here at this hangar.
Yeah, the old fight club down in Philadelphia that you're talking about, one of the only places that exists in this country where you can have those old fight clubs where the fans are in the ring with you, where the balcony goes right over the top. Being here with these special people, these special military men, the Marines, we're just fortunate that they allowed us to come into their place, and we're fortunate with what they do for us every day of their lives.
We are, and they made us so at home here today. So we thank all the men and women here at the Marine Corps Air Station New River, General Halick, and everyone else. We had great amateur fights here with the Marines themselves. Remember, Friday Night Fights is back January 8th of next year. Coming up, it's NASCAR Now for Teddy Atlas and all the Marines.
Will get their first taste of it with a young, undefeated featherweight prospect. Jason Litzau on the go for 5-0.